Europa Universalis V just came out, and what better way to celebrate than by playing tall in Portugal for 24 hours. We're starting out with a deficit, but by the end of the 24 hours, we'll be making well over 1,000 ducats of profit, even with our entire navy and army raised. From boosting resource production, to building factories, exploring the Atlantic, colonizing the Americas and Africa, and turning Portugal into a trade powerhouse. Watch as I make mistakes and learn strategies while I play the game for 24 hours. If you've been too scared to start your first save, have no idea where to start, or just want to see what happens when you only focus on the economy, this video will be perfect for you. I'm enabling Iron Man mode, so there's going to be no takebacks. Here we are in our capital of Lisboa. In this game, money is based on the tax base, which is the total amount of money a county makes. And that is then reduced by the control, so anything less than 100% control will get you less taxes. Each one of your estates has a different tax rate, which finally gets you the actual money you make. As you can see here, the control gets lower the further away from our capital you go, and that is based on the proximity to capital. Essentially, the harder it is to travel to another county, the less control you have over it. The reason Porto has a better proximity, even though it's further away, is that it has a port. To increase control, we can build roads to make it easier to reach further away counties. In terms of research, I don't really know what each era has, so I'll be picking anything that increases research speed, trade, and production. Research speed is based on the literacy of your population, so I want to increase that. Okay, it's now time to acknowledge the big elephant in the room. We're losing 10 gold per month, and I don't know about you, but I don't like losing gold. I can increase minting, but that will cause inflation. I could potentially increase taxes at the cost of my population's happiness. The easiest way to save money will be to simply reduce our maintenance on our military. I'm not at war after all. Another huge cost are all these unprofitable buildings. Like this one is spending more on clay to create pots than pots are even worth. So I'll need to either disable the buildings or increase clay production. Under the government tab, we have our estates, and the estate I care the most about are our burghers, as they're the ones who make our goods. I can grant the burghers a new privilege, which will make them happier, have more power, and the privilege I'm going for is this one, which decreases building costs. Once I started the game and actually got trades rolling, I started to, make some gold. My trading is set to automatic, but if I wanted to, I could pick my own trades. The trading system is very complicated, and as a new player, I don't really know exactly how it works, so for now I'll keep it automated to make us some money. Our tanneries are losing us money because the cost to make leather is more than leather sells for. I could either find a way to increase the price of leather or decrease the cost of the requirement. Looking here, the most expensive part of making leather is the livestock, so I'll try to decrease the cost of that. In the raw materials map mode, we can see that I have some livestock tiles down here. Actually looking at it, I have many buildings missing the required goods to produce their products. Like my tailor's guild are missing some wool. I could import the missing wool, but instead I can upgrade our resource gathering operations, or RGO for short. Upgrading an RGO is easy. The issue is that you need enough laborers to run the operation. Peasants will get promoted to laborers when they are needed over time, but this process is slow at the start of the game. A quick way to tell what resources you're missing is this little warning up here. Now that we're getting those missing resources, we should start to see our money go up. In theory, of course. Just so you guys know, this game is extremely in-depth and has many features that I'll mostly be skipping over, but just know they are there. Like we have all these laws we could change, all with a ton of options. And we have a bunch of values that affect how our country and people behave. Our leader just died, and our new ruler is Queen Maria. That'll be important later. Our rural settlements will be where we get most of our raw materials from. In these settlements, we can construct villages to increase the laborers and their abilities. In contrast, towns and cities are where we use those raw materials to make goods. In our capital here, constructing another carpenter's guild would increase our tax base by 4. That's because the goods to make furniture are really cheap, while furniture sells for a lot. Instead of laborers, goods are made by burghers. I'll also want to build marketplaces, as they increase the amount of goods you can trade. So remember how our ruler is a queen now? Well, that queen was married to the king of Castile, and now our son and heir is heir to both Castile and Portugal. In addition to the buildings discussed, there are also clergy buildings, and many of them improve the literacy of your people, and therefore research speed. They also improve promotion speed, so peasants will be able to get cool manual labor jobs a little bit quicker. The Age of Renaissance. We have an option to pick between an administrative, diplomatic, or military focus, which will add special text in the tree for us to pick up. In this case, I'm going with administrative to improve our local development. I'm sure with this new era, everything will stay great and nothing bad will happen. I'm focusing on upgrading my RGOs to set up our nation for the future. If the resources aren't needed for any productions, they'll make me some money anyways, so it's a win-win. We're actually getting close to making all of our buildings profitable. I'm sure this is fine and won't reach our land. If I had money, I could build hospitals. I'll just buy one in our capital, but we don't have enough money for any more. Well, it's here. Oh god, everyone is dying! Well, the Black Death is over, but half our population is dead now. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and I'm sorry for interrupting the video, but I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe if you haven't done so already. It really helps out the channel, and on top of that, if we hit 25,000 subscribers by the end of the year, I'll do a bit of a All Under Heaven DLC giveaway in my Discord. Also, I'll be hosting a 100-player multiplayer game where we all play in China, and that's just another reason to join the Discord server. Okay, enough of that. Let's get back to the video. There's an option here to change your government type to a republic, and it's something I'm considering. It could potentially be fun. I'm not really sure what the difference would be though. Right now our education law is set to religious teachings, but I think individual apprenticeships would be better and give us trade advantage. There we go. Oh damn, well that costs us a boatload of stability. I probably should have read more about it. I'm not sure how bad low stability is. I can spend some extra money per month to increase our stability because stability this low cannot be good. Our stability is back to almost neutral and our nation didn't fall apart, so I suppose it wasn't too bad. I'm constructing buildings to make goods that are used in other places, like tools are used in all my villages, so I need to make sure I create enough tools. I'm also starting to get a surplus of natural resources that I'm extracting from our land. Still though, extra wheat never hurt anybody. Sometimes I have stuff like this where I'm missing a good that I don't have in my country at all, but the values are low, so I'm kinda just ignoring it. Oh hey, our son and heir is now the King of Castile. When we die, he should take over Portugal too. I really hope this doesn't mean Portugal gets annexed. In terms of economy, we're actually starting to do pretty well here with our tax base steadily rising. I just gotta keep constructing new buildings when I have the money and people to work the jobs. And we've died. Fortunately, it looks like all it's done is form a union. And we're not going to be destroyed. At least not right away. This is actually kinda nice. We get an automatic mutual defense partner. The Western Schism is going crazy, as the Pope and the King of France are arguing with each other, I guess. It says I need to pick a side, but I really can't figure out how to do it. Castile is on the Pope's side, so I guess that's the side we'll be on. Even though again, I can't figure out how to officially join the side. I've reduced our unprofitable buildings to just the naval supplies guilds. I'll need to get more fiber crops and tar. A nice little fiber crops farm should help. What the hell? Castile just voted to change our union law, which I disagreed with. They have more votes than me, so I don't even know why it's put up to a vote, but it is, and we lost. And that made all my estates lose a massive 15% estate satisfaction. My nobility actually hate me now, and are rebellious. And now they want to vote on the same thing again? Oh my god, it happened again. So we're in a union with Castile, and unions have laws. Castile keeps changing this law, but every time the law changes, I'm getting a huge penalty to my state's happiness. Castile already voted to establish seniority earlier, so I have no idea what they're trying to do right now, or why they keep calling for a vote. Which again, they win no matter what, so I have no idea what the point of voting is. I'll worry about that later. For now, I have a new economic plan. Cities and towns have this building called a marketplace. The most important part of a marketplace is the increased trade capacity, which lets you make more trades at once. My current goal is to build as many marketplaces as possible in our capital, and then I'll move on to the other cities and build marketplaces there too. Castile just got into a rebellion, so now I'm in a war, but I haven't looked at anything military related. I genuinely do not know how troops work. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll send my 200 troops over to help the siege. I don't think they're needed though. Oh my god, they're calling another policy vote. We won! Due to the laws Castile has been passing, the nobles have had enough of me and decided to rebel. It says they have no troops, but I bet that'll change after I press play. Here it says I have unraised levies, so maybe I should raise them. Castile joined, so I probably don't even have to do anything. I don't have a professional army, so I have to raise my levies to get work done. I'm about to have my first ever battle in EU5. And we instantly won. I just gotta siege the forts, and then the war will be won. I think. I'm not really sure how to win a war. And they've surrendered. The revolution did not go well for them. Now that we're at peace again, I'm back to building marketplaces, except this time I'm doing it in my other towns. I'm gonna max out the marketplaces everywhere. I think once these finish building, I'll have as many marketplaces as possible. Rural settlements have market villages instead of marketplaces, and they aren't as good. This location here is a rural settlement. Rural settlements increase resource production, but the resource here is fish, and I don't really need any more fish. Once I get enough money, I can found a town here. There we go, a new town is being built. Once the town gets built, I'll be able to construct more marketplaces. Another policy was changed, except this time I didn't lose estate satisfaction. Interesting. Now that the town is finished, I'm adding those marketplaces I was talking about. I think it'll be best to construct towns in locations that have resources we don't need a lot of. Places like this, that produce important goods such as lumber, should probably stay rural settlements. When you enter a new age, you don't immediately unlock the different texts in a tree. Instead, you have to embrace an institution first. The institution first spreads to your country through trade or slowly over time, and then you can use stability and money to embrace it. I want to embrace banking as soon as possible. Whoa, France just declared war on Castile. This war is crazy. Okay, to be honest, I think Castile has us in the back, so I'll just keep upgrading my stuff while ignoring the war. 20% of my locations have knowledge of banking, which means I can now embrace it. The price goes down the more locations it spreads to, but I want it as soon as possible. I can now research a bunch of new texts, and some are super useful. Luckily I was right and Castile won the war. I can embrace this institution as well, but I'm worried about the stability cost, so I'll hold off on that for now. This is random, but I'm allying myself to Aragon. There's not really a reason other than the fact that I can. I've gotten enough stability to embrace the institution, no problem, so I'm doing that now. The town of Porto is our second biggest location behind our capital, so I've been putting a lot of money into making it stronger. The control isn't perfect, but the location is pretty good. Portugal is a nation with a lot of coastline, so I think things like wharfs and docks will be extremely important. I'll definitely want a strong navy at some point. Up here, you can see that I have more sailors than I do soldiers. I'm chilling in terms of money, so I'm buying a ton of irrigation buildings. It says to increase the amount of peasants you can have, and really all I need now is more manpower, so that seems like a win to me. I'm buying a ton of these since they're really cheap. Because we're actually making pretty decent money right now, I'm gonna do our first exploration mission. It costs some money, but once the expedition finishes, we will be able to see the Azores Sea. So Porto is just a town right now, but is big enough to upgrade to a city, which is the highest tier location. It will increase the amount of building slots we can make use of. It costs quite a bit of money, but I have just enough to afford it. The explorer came back, and we can now see these islands here. It looks like we need to explore the islands separately though, so I'll have to do that too. The next stage will have us do a lot more exploring. The best part about Porto being a city is more marketplaces! Trading makes a lot of my money right now, so I gotta keep increasing the amount we can trade. I just unlocked this new building called the Counting House, which increases local crown power. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not completely sure what crown power does, but I'm assuming it'll increase the amount of money we make, so I'm building one in our capital. And there's another cool research. It gives us this building that increases market attraction and trade capacity. This one can only be built in the capital though. We've discovered the islands, but Castile has already claimed it, so we can't colonize here unfortunately. I'm looking at our population growth, which is at 0.43%, which just feels small to me. The percent is affected by these things, and the only thing I can probably change is the amount of food storage we have. I think our prosperity is already maxed out. Overall, our population is rising back to what we had before the plague, but it still feels slow. At least our development's really high. University! This specific era is adding a lot of literacy-focused buildings, and I'm all for it. I'll build universities in every town I can, because these sets are pretty good. Universities in this game cost less to build than going to university costs in Crusader Kings III. Wait, this estate dissatisfaction stuff is still happening? Oh, my estates are gonna rebel again. I have to figure out a solution to this problem. If this is being caused by us being an opponent of the resolution, what if I just don't vote? Maybe that'll stop this from happening. It's the best idea I have right now. Can't be an opponent if I just ignore the vote. We have pirates in our waters. I'm not sure how to get rid of them. I have my ships here. Can I just tell them to go kill the pirates? I believe if I increase maritime presence, the pirates will dip. So how do I do that? Well, not voting didn't work. Our nobility is definitely gonna rebel now. Next vote, I have another potential idea, and if that doesn't work, I'm just perma-screwed. My new plan is to vote for whatever Castile is voting for. Castile is voting for maintain federal status, so I'll do the same. That way, it's impossible for me to lose a vote. Well, it worked, and we didn't lose the state satisfaction. Although our satisfaction is already so low that we're definitely gonna have a rebellion at some point anyways. It's time to beat the nobles up again. Screw a civil war, this is way more important. We're entering the age of discovery, which means we're about to unlock colonialism, so we'll be able to go to the Americas. I just have to pick between an administrative focus or a diplomacy focus. A diplomacy focus will help us with exploration and colonization, while an administrative focus would help with our productions. I'm all about trade, and I think it could be really cool to use the colonies to do more trade. So I'll go for a diplomacy focus, although I think both are pretty good and viable. Okay, I really should win the Civil War now. Well, isn't that convenient? The printing press institution appeared in Lisboa, which means we don't have to go and discover the institution, it's just right here. The printing press isn't the institution we want first, but it's still good. What we really want is the New World institution, which we will also unlock soon, so that's not an issue. We just need a little bit more money and probably a little more stability, but that's less important. It's New World time! First up is this tech, which massively increases the colonial range. I'm ready to explore and colonize. We're making 50 ducats of profit per month, which I think is a good starting point for expansion. That's only going to increase too, as I build more towns and add more marketplaces. I'm close to discovering my first unowned land here in Bermuda. It'll be a good place to settle, as it'll get us closer to the Americas. We've officially discovered Bermuda. Let's create a colonial charter. It's going to cost us some money, and we need to pick a place to send people from. Once enough people show up, we should have Bermuda colonized. Dolphins! Yeah, money's money. New world discovered. Let's see here. Hell yeah, we've discovered the water off Florida and Cuba. Next up, let's actually explore the island of Cuba. We're about to go crazy in the new world. Our colonial progress in Bermuda is getting there. There we are, we can now turn Bermuda into a colony. We can also start playing as them, but we're Portugal, so we don't want to do that. Cuba's been discovered. Let's see the resources here. We got some cocoa, that's cool. Chili, maize, all new things. And we got some tobacco over here. Oh, and there's cotton, which is cool. I'll colonize here first. Let's do a bunch of colonies. I don't really know where to colonize, so I'll just make a bunch of them. This would end up being a pretty bad decision, and unnecessary. Yeah, that was definitely a mistake, since now we're losing a lot of our population for migration. Although I feel like that was going to be required to make a bunch of colonies. I should have gotten slaves. Yikes, the Great Pestilence has started. Well, that was expected. The natives are catching the European diseases and they might be cooked. I have these options to reduce the sickness, but I don't really like the downsides, so I'm gonna ignore it. Our first Cuban colony is completed. For our colonial policy, I'll go with trade colonies. As while resources are nice, I mostly want to use the colonies for trading purposes. I'll have to colonize Africa later as well for that reason. I hope our colony is self-sustaining because I have no clue what I'm doing. With our colonies here, we can get trade advantage and capacity in this trading market. I'm looking at the buildings that would give us trade capacity to see what to construct here. Anything to get this trade income up. Hey, our population is back to what it was before the Black Death. Maybe we really can become awesome. This definitely isn't accurate. It says we have 0% population growth. We really need more people, but I don't know how to get more people. Instead of worrying about that, it's back to the upgrades for me. I think we need more lumber, so I'll upgrade that a lot. And we're getting marketplaces in Cuba. I believe we get a percent of our colony's trade capacity, so we should be able to make trades around here soon. So I'm discovering the land here, and there's some local nations. I'm looking through our actions to figure out if I'd be able to just take over their land. In the Castilian county of Sevilla, I have the ability to build a trade office here. This is very interesting, as I don't own this land. I'm not completely sure how it works, but it could change everything. With our new colonies set up, I'll try exploring as much as I can. I have the extra money to do so, so why wouldn't I? I'm looking for areas with gold as a resource, as that just feels like the right thing to do. There's gold here! That could be a good spot for a colony. I am worried about our population though. So the cathedral increases literacy, migration, and pop conversion speed, and we have a lot of money, so how about I start building them everywhere? Like literally every single place we can until we run out of money. Man, aren't we so holy? Okay, back to that gold. I'm building a colony here. I'm not sure exactly how the extraction of gold in our colony affects us, but it can't be bad and I'm sure it'll make us money. Gold is worth losing a few pops. I think at least. So you remember how I was able to build a trade office in Castile? I've discovered that you can build trade offices in foreign nations that have a good opinion of you. It looks like they use the population of the country I build them in, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to build as many as possible here, which looks like a max of 17, which is pretty crazy. I'll probably end up building those all over the place when I can. We just unlocked the paper workshop building from our text, which is a level 2 version of the paper production building. I have been struggling with paper production, so instead of trade offices, I'll build some of those new paper workshops. I'll build them in multiple towns around our nation. To keep up with paper production, I'll increase lumber and wool RGOs. Oh cool, and now we've unlocked level 2 book production. Although I am running low on paper, so I'm not sure that matters all that much. Actually, instead of just upgrading lumber and wool, I'll upgrade all of our RGOs. I need to make sure I'm building these one and done buildings for the clergy. I almost forgot. I'll mass build irrigation systems too. They increase the amount of peasants you can have, which I don't really think matters since we don't have the population to fill that space, but maybe it'll help. I'll also mass build market villages, which increase promotion time and give us a little bit of trade capacity. The trade capacity is the important part. Now that I don't really know what to build in my own nation, I'm building trade offices in others. A lot of trade offices, like as much as I can in each county. Even before these finish, we're making 250-ish gold. These offices should make our trades go crazy though. At least I hope so, since I'm spending thousands of dollars on them. In addition to trade offices, I can build these overseas trading posts in the New World. They'll also increase our trade capacity. We'll have some capacity in so many markets with all these foreign buildings. You know what, while we're over here in the New World, I'll spam some explorations to discover it all. With our techs, we just unlocked an upgrade to the basic dirt roads, so I can now build those, which should increase our control throughout the nation. The control will go up because the roads make it easier to travel, decreasing the proximity and therefore increasing the control. Oh cool, I can build some trade offices over in Great Britain. I'm considering building up a military and navy because I kind of want to take over some America's places. This requires us to build armories, which will increase the amount of men we can use as troops. There's no reason to not do this as we're starting to get rich. To keep up with the manpower, I'll now need to produce some more weapons using weapon workshops. I made some heavy cavalry here that I want to send to the Americas, but I don't know how. Okay, I need to get some transport ships, so I'll research this upgraded one here. We've now unlocked the Hulk transport ship, so I'll make a few of them and see if I can get over to the Americas. While we wait for those, I'll get more resource production up and running. I'll just keep upgrading these until they are all maxed out. Now that these ships are done, I'll attach my army, and I don't know, I'll just click over here and see what happens. Let's see if I can get over there. Okay, they're going. It looks like they might die of starvation. And the navy is attritioned. Abandon the mission, it's too dangerous. I have no clue if that's supposed to happen, or if I'm not supposed to use those ships for that. I'll figure it out eventually, I'm sure. I have a couple towns with at least 30,000 people, which means I can upgrade them to cities. Cities will increase the amount of trade capacity we can fit, so we have to do it. I'll build as many cities as I can. I hope there's no downside, because if there is, I don't know it. I just unlocked this building called the Feitoria, I think, and it has trade capacity and advantage bonuses. They can only be built in other continents, but that does mean I can build them all along the coast of the Ottomans, as it's technically considered Asia. They're much more expensive than trade offices, but I can make enough money to build about one per month. I'm not sure how good they are, but higher numbers are always better. You know, we've been doing New World stuff, but we're missing something. Portugal is famous for going around Africa into Asia, so let's start doing that. You can only explore one section at a time, then send a new explorer to go a bit further once they get back. Which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for something like this, but it is what it is. I feel like it would make more sense to send one person on a really long and expensive voyage all the way to India, and then when they come back, you unlock the map for the entire way there. Yeah, we definitely gotta keep putting our money in the trade. It's like half our income. No, an earthquake! I can spend some money on recovery, but like, I don't want an earthquake. We're missing so much paper now. Oh my god, it's because the earthquake destroyed all 30 of my paper workshops? What? Excuse me? Wait, it also destroyed all my marketplaces. Like, every single one of them. Are you telling me that across this entire county, somehow only marketplaces and paper workshops were destroyed? And not just a couple, but literally all of them? Even though they would be at different places around the city? Well, that makes no sense. I'll rebuild them, but that is pretty dumb. We just unlocked merchants' quarters, which should increase trade capacity. Hell yeah, we can build a lot of them. Oh, okay, so they're the level 2 version of marketplaces, so I'll have to build tons of them all across our country. We have a paper problem. I've been rebuilding the lost paper workshops, but each merchant quarters and each trade office uses paper. And I've built so many of them. We need more paper for them to function, but we have no paper. We need more paper.
What are you doing?
It's empty, Your Grace.
What do you mean it's empty?
There's no more
Paper.
Is that what empty means? So get more.
Okay, anyways, we can change the law to allow Jesuits to enter, which I am doing because I want to build the Jesuit college for the literacy. Now I'll build them in every town or city. Also, these cost paper as well, so we really have a paper problem. I'm ignoring the paper problem because I want to get around Africa. I'll need a jumping point, so I'm creating a colony near southern Africa, which will allow me to explore further. I'm worried about this though, because other than paper, our main issue is our population. I just don't have enough people to run the immense amount of factories I want to build. The age of reformation is upon us. At this point, I need to commit to the diplomatic focus. Pretty much all my power comes from trade, so I'm gonna go with that. I can't wait to get the Global Trade Institution, because that sounds right up my alley. The institution just spawned, so now I just need it to spread to Portugal. I know I'm out of paper, but let's build more trading posts. I want to build trade offices in 2 Sicilies, so I'll increase their opinion of us until I'm able to do so. Religious turmoil, that can't be good. We have some religious issue between the Catholics and the Protestants. I'll promote conversion efforts to potentially end the turmoil. Sicily likes me now, so here I am building a bunch of trade offices to become mega super duper awesome rich. These new trading techs are pretty awesome too, and they should hopefully increase our money like crazy. Oh, what the hell? We're doing that line to divide the world stuff between myself and Castile, who is also me. I mean, what is happening here? I have these options to shift the line and stuff, but like the game doesn't even tell me which side of the world we're claiming. Historically, Portugal would be the right side and Castile would get the left, but it really doesn't say, so I'll just have to hope that's accurate. I can only shift the line to the right, so does that mean we're on the left? How would I know? Our gold colony isn't finished yet, but it's getting pretty close. I'm not sure what's making this colony take absolutely forever compared to our others. Our colony in Africa is being settled quicker, but still not all that fast. Well damn, we're making like 500 ducats a month now. We've done the thing! You know, the thing I always do. Lisboa has 100 development. I feel like this is pretty early to have 100 development in a place, but it's cool that I've done it. It's something I always do in Crusader Kings III. I didn't realize that it would transfer over to Europa as well. Oh yeah, now that I have some land towards southern Africa, I have the range to begin exploring the Indian Ocean and the east coast of Africa. I'm not sure what the quickest way to go is, so I'll just explore everything I can. Man, Castile really wants this treaty to finish. I also keep getting notified they've changed the line origin, but it hasn't moved at all, so I think it's a glitch. There's the tech that I thought would be huge completed. Gives me a massive colonial range and a pretty big bump to trade range. Should increase the amount of markets we can access. Here's something that's been bothering me. I have all these pop needs, but I can't for the life of me figure out how to trade for them. I'll click a trade that it says I need, but it won't change anything and the trade will be doing nothing when I go and look at it. The treaty has been ratified. We have the option here to violate the treaty if we ever need to, so that's good. Oh, we have claims over the left side, not the right side like in real life. Man, would it have been nice to be told that. I could have flipped the sides of the treaty before it finished. It looks like Castile has claims on Western Africa, but probably not Eastern Africa, so I guess it actually doesn't really matter. Let's ignore the treaty and focus on our trading. My next task / goal will be to set up a trade company. I want to build trading towns along the coast of Africa, and then in India, and I believe the trade company headquarters will help me do just that. I got this from a tech, by the way. It's showing up like I could build them in our trade colonies, except for the part where it says we need the trade companies advanced, which I have. I decided to start yet another colony near southern Africa to reach India more efficiently. I'm almost to India. Okay, back to the whole trade companies thing. I very clearly have trade companies researched, so I think we just discovered another bug. I'm gonna be honest, this game would be absolutely peak without the bugs, which I'm really hoping get fixed over time. Yeah, I really need to fix the paper problem. Let me simply mass build paper workshops. When I click this button, it's building them everywhere that would have enough workers to support them. I'll also mass build factories that produce the requirements for paper. Hey, that colony with the gold is finally completed. Took it a while, but now we can start extracting the gold. Should make us a decent amount of money. I think it's finally time to fully max out our RGOs. I mean, we're really close to doing so already, so I might as well. I'm not sure if we need any of these extra resources, but I suppose it can't hurt to have them. I'm changing our distribution of power, which will make the nobles unhappy, but give us more crown power. I think our people aren't happy about that, and we're unstable, so maybe I shouldn't have done that. What I need to do is figure out how to increase population growth. I believe the population satisfaction affects how many new kids they have, so I should attempt to max out their satisfaction. I need to get them the goods they want, which I can't do with my RGOs, so I must do it through trade. I'll swap some trade capacity over to manual and select these for our building and population needs. Maybe this will fix our paper problem too. For some reason, our pops still need the goods I thought I'm trading for. Yeah, we should be getting a lot more fur, but I'm not. At the end of the month, it should tell us exactly how much fur we're getting from this. Well, it updated, and with 43 trade capacity, I'm getting only 1 fur? Okay, because Castile has a trade advantage in that market. Even though the game said I could make the trade, I guess it was lying to me. So how am I going to increase trade advantage here? I know I have some advances that give advantage, and I know some buildings do, but I'm not sure what else to do. Maybe if I send some boats over there, it'll help our trade advantage. And if that doesn't work, I'm out of ideas. Yeah, I really can't figure this out. I just wish the trades wouldn't lie to me. I might give up. Yeah, I'm giving up for now. Another way to increase pop growth rates is to increase the amount of available food. I can build these granaries, which will increase the food storage, which in return should also increase the growth rate of our population. I really just can't figure out how to get our pops what they need, and I'm not even sure how much it would help. All those trade buildings we started building have now finished building, and the effect is obvious. We can make 1,000 gold in a single month, and most of it's from trading. I was looking at the EU5 Discord and I saw a cool trick I can use to get more pops. I can conduct a census and it'll double my population growth while it's happening. Yeah, we're getting 1,500 new peeps a month right now. I'm still low on paper, so I'm making more paper workshops, but I really don't have enough people to work the jobs, and yeah, it's rough. I have $1 billion and don't know what to do with it, so I'll finally build a huge navy and a huge military. Training fields and armories are what give us more manpower. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get them to work efficiently, as I might not have enough people able to become soldiers, but maybe we'll be fine. I am building a lot of armories though, so I can't be sure. Hey, I'm constantly making over 1,000 gold per month now, so that's pretty neat. It's over half from trading, which makes 1,000 gold on its own. Apparently trade capacity is really good if you want to be super mega rich. I actually make more money than Castile, even though they have a way higher tax base. I want to figure out how conquistadors work. I cannot figure out how they work. Because trading was unable to get us paper, I'm starting American colonies to produce paper for us. I'll also create a colony to get fur. My people have been fur starved for way too long. Our colony was formed, and I don't really know how to get it to make paper for us, but it is here. I've made a bunch of ships, should be a good time. We have 81 boats here. I think at least half of them are high-tech and powerful. Probably. Castile is in a war, so let's go test out our navy. Yeah, we're way stronger than them. Let's do another battle. Well, damn, we won instantly. Okay, we're actually fighting the big battle? The UI is kind of confusing. And there we go. We destroyed 14 of their ships for no cost towards us. We're rich, and that's all that matters. Honestly, I've had my issues with the game, but it's a very good base, and I'm super excited to see where it goes. I'm gonna have to end the video here after 24 hours of gameplay. It was fun, but definitely buggy. But once those bugs get patched, I'll just have to become the best Europa player ever so I can become OP with any country. Anyways, leave a comment about where you'd like me to play next, and if we get enough likes on the vid, I'll do a part 2 in Portugal.